Hello, everyone. Once again, we are at the end of another month. We're at the end of November 2024. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are, therefore, have our stats through the end of October 2024 available. So let's get into the numbers for Winter Haven, Florida. Winter Haven saw 93 closed sales in October 2024. That's compared to 72 a year ago. That's an increase of 79.2%. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales, 19.4% compared to 30.6% a year ago. That's a decrease of 36.6%. Median sales price in Winter Haven, $295,000 compared to $295,078, so essentially no change. Average sales price, $308,455. That's compared to $289,217. That's an increase of 6.7%. Median percent of original list price, 96.6%, is what sellers are receiving from their original list price, compared to 97.1% a year ago. That's a decrease of 0.5%. Median time to contract, 40 days compared to 31 days a year ago. That's an increase of 29%. Median time to sale or closing, 83 days compared to 68 days a year ago. That's an increase of 22.1%. New pending sales, 77 new pending sales compared to 71 a year ago, an increase of 8.5%. New listings, 108 new listings compared to 115 a year ago, a decrease of 6.1%. Pending inventory, 98 compared to 83 a year ago, an increase of 18.1%. Active inventory, 413 homes active compared to 315 a year ago, an increase of 31.1%. And then month supply of inventory, 5.1 month supply of inventory compared to 4.2 month supply of inventory, an increase of 21.4%. Tune in and we'll talk a little bit more about why some of these numbers are the way they are for October and what we see moving forward. So as we look at those numbers, there are a few things that sort of stood out for me. Activity still pretty slow. Month supply of inventory increasing, prices decreasing a bit, but let's kind of look back at what happened in October. And our inventory is really high, and homes aren't moving. But if you remember, October we saw back-to-back hurricanes hit our area, and I don't know about you, but I know from my experience, most people aren't looking at homes when they're both preparing for hurricanes and then recovering from the aftermath. We did have areas in our in Polk County that experienced significant flooding. Not so much wind damage, but we did have areas of flooding, and then just general storm debris, down branches and things like that. And obviously there are people who did experience damage from down limbs and things like that. And so lots of people dealing with FEMA and recovery efforts and insurance, and when you're spending all your time doing that, there's not a whole lot of time to be looking for a home. And so October was very, very slow. And then even going into November, we had the elections in early November, and everyone put things on hold until after the election. So October had a lot of things going against it in terms of the housing market and picking up. And additionally, mortgage rates actually went up during the month of October, so that didn't help either. So a lot of factors really impacting our housing market here in Polk County and Winter Haven for the month of October. And then, of course, we get into the holiday season, and so things are expected to be pretty slow for November and December. But everyone that I've talked to, all the experts I follow, expect things to pick up pretty quickly in January. We do expect to see mortgage rates start to drop again. We expect when that happens that buyers are going to come back to the market, and so our inventory numbers are going to start to decrease. We're going to see more competition for those homes. If you can get out and shop and you're in the market for a home, Now is probably a pretty good time. Sellers have had their homes on the market maybe for a little while, so they may be more willing to negotiate. They may be willing to offer seller concessions, money towards closing costs or buying the rate down. So there's some opportunities there if you're a home buyer. If you're a home seller, I can just tell you to preach basically patience. We've had a rough go of it here in October, and then November and December are historically slow. I know that's what I've been telling my sellers, to kind of prepare for a slow November and December as far as the real estate market goes, but that things should pick up in January and February. And then before you know it, we'll be into the spring season, and then things are going to really pick up. But if you are a seller and you are anxious to sell, then I think looking at the possibility of offering seller concessions, money towards closing costs or an interest rate buy down would be prudent. It's what a lot of builders, or actually all the builders, are doing. And they're still selling. So, people are still buying in this market. There's people buying in every market, honestly. But those incentives are making a difference for the builders, and they can make a difference for you as a seller as well, especially if you have some wiggle room and you've got some equity. You might not make as much as you would have a few years ago, but you can still make some good earnings from the sale of your house if you're strategic with your realtor in terms of pricing and what incentives you might want to offer. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the market and what I would expect to happen the next couple months and then into January. Apologize for my voice. I am getting over a pretty serious bout of bronchitis. Seems to have affected my voice as well. I am on the mend though, so happy about that. I do want to wish all of you out there a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you get to spend time with your family or friends, whoever's important to you, and that you have a great Thanksgiving meal with them. And now the election's over, we can not talk politics and just try to enjoy each other's company and have a great preparation for the holiday season. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and remember, you can't miss with Chris. Have a great day.